Hey. All right, so this video is going to be a little different than my previous videos. I'm trying to move into more technical content, and I'm trying to... Actually, I've got some tutorials I've already edited, and I just haven't done a good job of just getting them shipped because, you know, tutorials take a lot of time. If you haven't messed around with WebRTC, this is a great video for you to sort of get your feet wet, exposure. Michael's going to walk us through how to get the video API up and running. Yeah, with a couple clicks, I think it's like 30 seconds. It is going to be a lot of us going back and forth and chatting. So I'll leave a link below at the time code where the actual tutorial itself starts. So definitely jump up ahead if you don't want to watch us have a lot of fun. But you know, why are you here if you don't want to watch us having fun? This conversation happened on Twitch. Twitch is where I live code, I live stream. I'm starting to do more interviews. So if you're interested in checking out those interviews, definitely give me a follow. Link in the description below for Twitch. I was going to point out that we have a whole nother video where we actually go into the background of Michael's sort of onboarding experience into DevRel, as well as like why he got into live streaming on Twitch. That's going to be a whole nother video, which I'll also link in the description below as well. So without further ado, here's Michael Jolley talking about WebRTC with me. That rhymed. Here I am again, getting back on the horse, and I've got Michael Jolley, who's the bald bearded builder. I had to slow.
I think you said it better than I do.
Yeah, I've been practicing. New York. Excellent. But yeah, Michael. Most people probably know who you are if you've hung around in my chat. But do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So if they know me, it's because we've rated you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we stream 3 days a week on Twitch at the BaldBeardedBuilder.com, whatever it is, the Twitch handle. How do I work this thing? The intrawebs. Yeah, we do that. And then by day, I am a developer advocate at Vonage, getting to play with cool APIs all the time.
Excellent. Yeah, and I don't know if you're on the clock still technically, but do you want to tell us what Vonage does and what you do there?
Yeah, I'm always on the clock. They basically provide communication APIs. So if you need to integrate things like SMS or voice, or in my case, video, we provide all those methods. And there's some other APIs too, like Verify, which provides like two-factor authentication for your application. We kind of handle all that for you. So yeah, we just make it easy to do that.
Excellent. Yeah. And I know Vonage has picked up a bunch of different like products and projects. So there's like a collation of like a bunch of different APIs. And I think we're going to chat about one of them, which is the one that you focused on, which is, do we call it TokBox or we just call it Video API?
Well, it used to be called OpenTok. My understanding is, Vonage was like a VoIP provider.
Yeah.
And they still do some of that stuff and like business communications and contact centers. But then they picked up a company called Nexmo, which provided all kinds of communication APIs. And they ended up building all of their products with the Nexmo APIs. And then they picked up a company called TokBox who made OpenTok. And that's now our video API, which is all WebRTC goodness.
All right. So I think we did intros. I guess we can switch over to code. But yeah, Gen Z, I don't quite understand the TikToks. But speaking of TikToks, we should talk about TokBox. If I was confident on the name, I should have just rolled right into it.
Yeah.
But I figured we could probably do some coding or copying and pasting because that's what I'm pretty good at.
That's my major developer skill.
Yes.
Google foo and copy paste.
Exactly. I am also a millennial. Excellent, Dodo. Thanks for backing me up. So I guess where would I start if I wanted to use the API? And also, I guess we could talk about the Vonage Video API and like what we would do with it. Because I'm familiar with APIs and like I'm a copy and paste developer. So if I have a solution I can find through a blog post, I sort of shoehorn it into something and then go travel around the country and talk about it. So that's what I do.
Look at this stuff I copied.
Exactly. That's how you, truly, that's how DevRel works.
That's where my talks come from. Yeah. So yeah, the video API for Vonage runs on top of WebRTC.
Yes.
Which is just a way to send video and audio over the web, right? But it's kind of complicated to try and figure out and piece together. And sometimes you need turn servers and so, all this rigmarole. So that's what's fun for me as the video API advocate, because we abstract a lot of that pain away and just make it, put it in terms that are a little simpler to understand. For instance, you might have a video session, like we're technically like in a Zoom call, right? So we have our Zoom call, which we would call a session, okay? And in that session, anyone who is sharing video or audio is a publisher.
Yeah.
And anyone who is consuming those streams of information is a subscriber.
Yeah.
So pretty much everybody's going to be a subscriber, but you may only have one or two or, X number of publishers. Of course, the more publishers and subscribers you have, the more bandwidth you're eating up. So like if you had, I guess the thing you had to really think about is if you were going to publish 9 different streams, you can send communication through the video API either in routed or relayed mode. One goes through our servers, and then one is peer-to-peer. But every time we join, whether it's routed or relayed, if you and I both were publishing and looking at each other, we are encoding our video on our side and sending it up.
Yeah.
And then also receiving the other person's video and decoding it.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, like, the more people that are publishing those videos, the more my device has to work to decode those videos. So there's like some best practices that we try to get people to follow as far as that goes. If you're going to send somebody, everybody knows those like Zoom and Skype and other layouts where it's like one big person, the active speaker, and then everybody else is like really small across the bottom or on the right side or something. If you're only going to show that person in, 100 pixels over there, then maybe only subscribe to that stream in, 240. Don't give me 1080p if I'm going to show them in 100 pixels. It really does me no good. So we help you do all that kind of stuff, right? And if you want to build one, so yeah, you have to create an account. You created one.
Yeah.
It's free to create.
Yeah, and I created under my work account too as well.
Your me work. That's perfect. That's perfect. So we want to go create a project.
So where am I seeing create a project?
There you go.
Oh, this?
Did you see it there? Did you see it? Create it. Oh no, you've got a new account under that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, projects. Create project.
Oh, there we go. Oh, you know what? I don't want to complain about the UI, but I did not know this was a button.
You know what though? Here's what I love about DevRel and being on videos like this is Mike will watch this video back and take a clip of this and say, "Hey, that button wasn't very obvious to Brian.
No,
we should probably change that button."
And I am a purveyor of buttons. Like
that's right.
If I know anything, it's about buttons.
Yeah, that's true. So here's like 2 options. We make it really, really simple. Like if you just want to put like video on your WordPress blog, or whatever, you might just want a video chat embed. Yeah, we abstract away all complexity there. It's only one-on-one, so you can't have multi-party. But if you just like have if you're like a whatever kind of small business and just want to have video chat on your site for customers to talk to you, video chat embed, send people to a link to that page and chat to them.
Gotcha.
I assume we want to be a little more fancy today.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you sold me pretty well on the embed.
It is nice. The video chat embed, if you're just doing one-on-one, that's okay. If you're not doing if you're so people who use our APIs are building things like Zoom clones or conference. There's systems like Remo and that are like conferencing platforms, like replacing our meetups on site. Yeah. There's others. One business was like Liberty. I think it was Liberty Mutual Insurance. which seems is like, why would you want a video call with that? But they're using it for, say some farmer out in Iowa's tractor breaks down. They don't want to have the expense of sending some person out to Iowa to inspect this tractor. So they have like, this iOS device that's got the video up, and they can talk to the guy and he can show them a picture of the tractor, and they can use the device's GPS to make sure that he's on his farm and not his friend's farm and all that sort of stuff. But then you also have the ones that are doing like bigger conferences, bigger groups, multi-party things. And then you can also use it to, and I've done this a few times on stream. So like when you do your stream, you're using probably like OBS or Stream Elements to do it. Are you using OBS?
I'm using OBS.
Okay. So in OBS, you set up your stream
real streamer
settings.
never tells. No.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Woo! We should have hit the beat button for that.
Yes, I use
That's right. That's right. So you had to set up OBS or whatever platform you chose to use with like a stream key, right?
Yes.
And like it probably has a URL to send this RMTP stream.
Yep.
For those big, like more broadcast type of applications, people can build that with the Video API and say, start a session that maybe I'm the only one in, or maybe a couple presenters, however many presenters you need to have. But then rather than publishing each of our video feeds individually to viewers, create an HLS or RMTP stream and send it out to any endpoints you want. So you can say, I want you to send it to YouTube. I want you to send it to Twitch, to Facebook Live, to any of those platforms, and be live on all of them at the same time while you're just sitting there in, whatever beep platform you're using to stream out of.
Yeah.
So that's another use case. I got to tell you this one use case. It blows my mind every time I think about it. I was so fortunate, like when I started working at Vonage, I was fortunate that it was the Video API that I was going to be talking about, because it turns out like 2 of our biggest Video API customers are here in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, really?
Which blew my mind. I'm like, what? How did that happen? I've heard your like videos about how like these fortuitous things just kind of happen.
Yeah, serendipity
in your career. Yeah, it is. It really was. So I went and met with one of them, and they're doing like what's a good word? It's more like for service type businesses, but they're using like they call it merged reality. It's not augmented reality or virtual. It's some grandma calls up DirecTV.
Yeah.
And says, I've got a problem with my satellite box. I can't figure out which one of these plugs I plug into to what, and it keeps telling me I should look at my HDMI tech cable, but I don't know what a HDMI cable is. And the DirecTV guy can like try to walk her through it, but if he can't walk her through it, he can send her or text her a link that she can open up like on her iPad or her phone or whatever.
Nice.
And then that app will connect them into a video session, and it will use her rear camera. So she can point it at her like DirecTV box, and he can see her box, right? But he, above his desk, has a camera shining down, and over to his right is like a bunch of cables. Like he has an HDMI, he has a coax, he has RCA, whatever. Just like little end clips, right?
Yeah.
So he can pick one up and put it in view over his desk where that camera's shooting down and say, this is what an HDMI cable looks like. She's looking at her screen and she sees the satellite box that she's pointing her camera at, but his hand alone enters the field of view with that HDMI cable. So it's merging their videos and kind of doing like a green screen, like a chroma key thing where you only see his hand, and he can sit there and go, okay, take this HDMI cable and plug it into this slot. And it looks like he's plugging it into that slot, and she can follow along, which is, it's not really augmented reality. It's like they call it merged because it's 2 videos on top of each other instead of these drawn things. But what is so
it's like Screen Hero, but for DirecTV.
Oh, listen, it is so much.
Yeah.
It goes so beyond that. Like that was a pretty cool use case to me.
Yeah.
But then they showed me this use case that they actually have people using it for this. They'll have, let's say, a surgeon in Africa, and there's a huge epidemic of cleft palate babies in Africa. and you don't necessarily have the training medically there that you do here. So you'll have a surgeon over there looking at a kid on the operating table, and the surgeon is wearing Google glasses that are connected to a video session, and he looks down at this kid. There's a surgeon here in the States who has on some Google glasses, and he looks down. He's at his office. He just looks down at his desk and sees this kid laying on the desk. And he's got a camera above his desk, and he'll reach over and pick up like a scalpel or maybe a plastic scalpel, maybe his lunch knife, who knows? And he'll say, you know, okay, start your incision right here and go that far, you know, and the surgeon in Africa actually sees his hand and that scalpel enter his field of view above the kid. And all he has to do is pick up his scalpel and follow along in the surgery and learn how to perform that surgery, and then hopefully go train other surgeons how to do it better. When you think, it blows my mind to think of how that's like affecting people. And that has nothing to do with like a one-on-one video call or a Zoom call. It's just these cool use cases that people think of once they have the tools.
All right. So I'm going to click the create a project because I know we haven't got that far. Can I make a Yo project? Is this going to be
sure? I think
one of these fine. H2? I know H264 because I do some I do some video myself, so you know I do tinker. But which one is preferred?
So I would say VP8. Not all browsers support H264.
Ah, good to know.
Yeah.
But does Chrome support H264?
Chrome. I think. Is it? There's an. It's Don't ask me that question. I don't remember.
All right. I won't ask that. Let's remove that from the record.
Yeah.
And I see a nice, excellent secret key right here. So I assume that I'll be regenerating that later.
You'll need that later. You'll need that later. But yes, I would suggest deleting this project post the stream.
I definitely will be. So I think my Yo project is good to go. I hit start.
So now you're ready to start doing stuff. And there's a neat, if we scroll down a little bit, these are all like where your metrics are. That little GraphQL thing was basically, hey, if you want to see your metrics, we have a GraphQL API that will tell you, you know, what kind of buffering and errors that happened, what kind of bit rates people were getting. And then we've got some stuff like archiving, which is basically like saving a recording of what you're doing. We can save it automatically to like an S3 storage in AWS or Azure storage. Session inspector is the same thing, where you're like inspecting that call and seeing what kind of quality people are getting.
Very cool.
Callback URL. That's when we save the recording to S3 or Azure. That's a URL we're going to hit to let you know it's there. Scroll up a little bit more. SIP would be like if you wanted people to be able to call in, like from their phone.
Yeah,
you could integrate SIP calling into it. Now, of course, they're not going to publish video, but they can publish their audio and receive everybody else's audio in a single thing. But let's keep going down. We made some little areas down there like that as project tools.
Yeah. To
speed up development. We'll come back to this in just a minute. Basically, you know, we talked about a session being a room, like a chat room, right?
Yeah.
And anyone who's sending video or audio, they're publishers. Anyone receiving is a subscriber. To join a set or to create a session, when you create a session, I should say, you'll get a session ID. Just a unique. It's not really a GUID, but it looks kind of like that. And then each person that joins the session should get a unique token. With some permissions, like, are they allowed to be a moderator? Are they allowed to be a publisher? Or are they just a subscriber only? You know, you want to give a different token for every person so that if, you know, you have someone like Chris Jones in your session, you can ban them. If you use the same token for everybody, you're kicking everybody out.
Yes. Don't want to do that.
Yeah. And you can set the expirations like you would expect. Like it doesn't really create a jot, but it's, similar in what the thought process is.
You can create session. I guess it sounds like you just create session tokens for, like, you can generate them through the API probably. So if I have like 100 people
100%, yeah.
showing up to an event next week on Tuesday and Thursday, and I wanted to use this, I can just tell everybody to sign up. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, you can create you create one session, right, for you all to be in, and then every time someone like tries to log into it, just create a unique token for them for that session, and they'll join up. And based on what you told their role, they'll have the opportunity to publish or not. So let's go on the top menu to the Developer Center. So in the navigation at the very top.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
And let's just go to Fast Tracks, the very last one.
Fast Tracks. That is that's a name right there. I have a lot of assumptions.
What does that kind of bring to your mind?
Fast Tracks? NASCAR are quick starts. I assume it's going to be like quick starts. Yeah.
It's like a quick start. Yeah. It's a quick way to go. So we'll be able to just like run through this real quick and have a video app running.
Wow.
In a lot of our demos, like this Fast Track, we'll say, instead of writing the backends to like create session IDs and tokens for everybody, we'll say, hey, just go to your project account and use those project tools to generate a session and a token for this to play with.
Yeah, that's genius. Because I'm a big fan of the 0 to the 60. We'll lean in the Fast Track, but getting the developer like their hands behind the wheel of the API as soon as possible. So it sounds like that's what this is.
Well, let's see how fast you can do it. I'm very curious. I will totally be clipping this later to see.
Excellent. Well, I am using a trackpad, so I mean, I might be a little slow if my fingers slip.
Thought you were coming prepared.
All right, yeah, I can switch to a mouse, but we might lose some quality time.
It's okay. Hey, listen, some people want to watch the world burn, and we need to be able to accommodate those people who are going to use a fast track. I mean, use a mouse pad, whatever, trackpad, whatever you call it.
Fast track.
It's not even in my vocabulary.
All right, so I assume open fast track.
Yeah.
And 30 seconds. I should actually create a timer and put it on the screen for when I do stuff like this.
It's funny you've said that because I've done this before. I've actually timed people.
So do I have a...
You probably want from a browser, like a web-based, because you don't want to go with Swift and Android and Windows. You don't have Windows.
No, this is definitely not a Windows machine.
Dirty Mac users.
Should I do a one-to-many or a group?
So whatever you want to do. It's your choice. You do you, boo.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's do group. We'll
group
see.
Would be like multiple people can publish and subscribe.
Okay.
One to many would be like you're going to be the only one presenting. You're the only publisher.
Gotcha. We'll do group and see what happens.
Okay.
And
do you want to use screen sharing?
Screen sharing. Yeah. Let's do screen sharing and text chat.
Yeah.
And annotations. Ooh.
Yeah. So that would be like drawing on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to seeing it. Yeah.
Moderation. Voice only.
Don't want broadcast. Don't want voice only. We want to see.
Yeah.
It's pearly whites.
Yep. And then last question. I love that.
What language you want?
Node.js. Sometimes
I hope you pick Node.js because it's either that or .NET. I'm not going to be a whole lot of help with the others.
I've been known to do a little bit of Ruby. So I got a Hello World and platform overview. Learn the basics. Yeah. These are like trainings?
They are, yeah. Pick either one you want to do.
Excellent. Hello World. I see a script tag and credentials. Go here.
Yeah, so this is an editable window.
Yeah.
So you can change that text, and down below, we're going to take you through the steps. And it's going to tell you, copy the code snippet below, and it'll tell you where to put it. There should be like a little credentials section. Don't copy it. Don't paste it on over that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You said they're going to tell you, but you're telling me.
Yeah. I'll quit telling you and let you read it.
Okay. Copy the code snippet and put it under credentials. Got it.
One thing that's nice is that it automatically sucks in your API key, creates a session ID, and creates a token for you. So you don't have to worry about that right now.
Yeah, I think like Stripe is, I think, one of the folks that do this pretty well. I guess one of the APIs I'm familiar with that does this. That we me and the team, we bring up a lot, and when we talk about API. So this one, I'm assuming connect other session, and I was assumed correctly.
Yeah, that's the code that will connect to another session. You can see like it initializes the session there.
Yeah.
It's already looking at your camera. Yeah. With that API key and the session ID, the publisher, you're initializing the publisher.
Yeah.
And then connecting to the session with your publisher token, right?
Yes.
Now, right now, you're not publishing that.
Yeah.
That's just viewing it on your screen.
Yes.
You've created a publisher and you've connected to the session, but we'll go to step 3.
Excellent. Okay, I see my video. Indeed. So now I am doing the session.publish, and I have a publisher, which I think, create publisher here. So all familiar JavaScript that I've seen before. If you haven't seen it before.
That doesn't go there.
Oh, no.
If you want to read the documentation instead of me telling you the documentation, then that's implying that you're going to read the documentation.
But I'm getting free support live on the air.
I'm distracting you.
I don't even have an enterprise account yet. Yeah. So this is perfect.
Yeah. So you publish that publisher now. So you technically are publishing that. So if I had the same session ID and a token for that, I could join in and see myself.
And if those who are fast enough to clip that, you could actually join this, because I did have my token and session ID live right there.
Well, they don't have an interface to join you.
Oh, they don't. You're right.
No. Yeah.
So it sounds like
It's safe. You're safe right now.
Excellent.
Yeah, got it. Step 4.
So under create subscriber. So I'm just sort of, this is how I code. So you explaining it, I still would have done the same thing. I would have copied and pasted the entire thing. And then I would have figured it out later.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I completely understand. So that code is saying that
you would not be a developer advocate if you didn't understand.
That's true. That's saying like anytime the event stream created happens on a session, then you want to subscribe to that stream.
Gotcha. So
like if I joined and started publishing, an event would fire to everyone in the meeting that a stream has been created. And they would have that logic that says subscribe to it or not, depending on what your interface, what you want it to do. Excellent.
Well,
you're about there.
Yeah, it sounds like I might have one more step. I'm not sure how I know this, but 5 out of 5.
You're a genius.
So mute the speaker on your computer and prevent audio feedback.
Yeah.
There we go. And then launch a second client, which this button will do it for me.
Yep, it will.
And a Codepen of all things. Wow.
It is. It's going to open a Codepen with that code that you just created. And if you look down at the bottom results, that's your camera that you are. Can you bring up the results there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, I can hear myself too as well.
Got to mute this one too.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go. So notice one has a mic and one has a speaker.
Yes.
The mic is the one you're that browser's publishing.
Yeah, this one looks better though.
What you haven't really completed it. Step 6 is high five yourself in the video.
Oh, really?
Not really.
Oh, I mean,
but it should be.
You need to rewrite that. There. Yeah.
Give yourself a high five, self high five.
There we go.
Because you just completed it and created a video session.
If we touch each other, will we break the space-time continuum?
You will, yeah.
That's where you need the animation of everything shutting off.
That's what caused the pandemic. Don't do it.
Yeah, I'll touch this, and then that's where I need the hold music coming on. That is that might make good video later.
What is it? Don't cross the streams.
Yes.
Is that right from Ghostbusters?
Yes, definitely cross streams.
Never cross the streams.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's it. I mean, you can get fancier, right? I mean, like people see that and they think of like a one-on-one video or like a Zoom or something like that. And you can do that. A lot of our customers do. But what's fun to me is seeing those other use cases, like that company doing the Liberty Mutual or the doctor stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things we did was a lot of people will add it to it, and we did this on stream, where all those videos, we were sending the video feed to Azure and getting real-time sentiment analysis based on the face, and then putting an emoji over the video to note the emotion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it worked because I let my 14-year-old daughter do it, and it always said disgust. But
well,
it seemed to work on me.
Yeah, that's Generation ZA. They're always going to be disgusted.
It may be, but yeah, another thing we did, this crazy Joker behind me, that's an animatronic puppet.
Oh.
And honestly, getting back to, I'll tell you a story about that in a minute because it gets into DevRel a little bit. But we hooked him up to a Particle IoT device, which is connected to my home's Wi-Fi. And we used the video API and used TensorFlow to do facial tracking. So we knew like when you were blinking, when you were smiling, when your mouth was open or closed. And based on that, we were sending webhooks that would hit that device and make the puppet blink or his mouth move. And I mean, it was fun, but I'm not sure that, there's a big use case for making puppets move based on your face. But it was so fun because like chat was like immediately involved in like, hey, there's totally use cases for that. Like one of our viewers actually codes by voice. Okay. So he's like, think about situations where people have a disability. If you could have a camera on their wheelchair and they, based on their blinks, it changes the channel of the TV or something like that, just empowering them that much more is huge.
Yeah. I could see if I was working at Sesame Street and I could not go into the office to record, I guess an episode. I don't know what they call those things, but being able to like call in and be like, all right, I'm going to do Elmo today.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. I've thought about hooking it up to chat or something and letting chat like log in and record something. And like, instead of it like watching your mouth, send the audio stream and based on the highs and lows of the audio, control the mouth from that and then play it back.
So Sean actually asked in the chat, is it possible to do manipulations with Canva?
100%. That's exactly how I did it. So let me see if I can find that and I'll send it to you. You can kind of see. I actually brought it into, I had a browser. Use your words, Michael. Let me find a video of it. And I'm just going to send you, I'll send you like the timestamp link. Yeah. At current time. Perfect. Let me learn how to work Zoom. Would have been better in Vonage Video.
Vonage Video. Well, today I learned Vonage Video exists.
Yeah. So there's a link to it was actually a talk I gave at Half Stack online earlier this year. And it was about controlling the puppet. And you'll see, so like the question was, can you manipulate the video via the canvas, right? Yeah, absolutely. The way I did it was instead of publishing the video from my camera, I would send that video to a canvas and then draw the dots of the facial recognition onto that canvas and use that as a browser source in OBS. Oh gosh, did it not have the timestamp?
No. Did I maybe I only copied half of the timestamp. Let's see here. Oh, it said timestamp 1.
There. That's where it is, darn it. Go to like 19 minutes.
Okay. Scrub.
There we go.
Here's the puppet.
Yeah, there's the puppet. So I'm explaining that what you see there is not really me in OBS. That's a browser source with a video player in OBS. So when I turn on, I add a little button into my HTML page that would turn on the facial tracking. And when I do that, the dots will show up on my face in the presentation, and you'll start seeing that monkey dance beside me, emulating the actions. But it's all, that was a great question, Sean. What you're seeing there of me is actually a canvas that I've layered the dots on top of my video. That's what we did with the sentiment analysis. We had the video, and then we wrote that video to a canvas and then drew an emoji on top of it.
This is great.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And this is a conference talk? This looks like
I gave that one at Halfstack Online. Halfstack has stuff at New York, Tel Aviv, they're all over, but they had to pivot, of course, when COVID came around.
Wow. Excellent.
So they did the conference online, and we got to I think we actually pre-recorded those, which made it nice. But
how do I get one of these shirts?
I can hook you up with a shirt.
Oh wow, yeah, that's I love the logo. I need to update my I gotta keep it fresh over here. And
you need the other ones though. You need like the Mistakes Were Made shirt.
Yes.
Or
yes, I've seen you wear that a couple times.
Yeah, we built Div City in VS Code. That one's my favorite, I think.
This is excellent. Which, if you aren't following, which I assume a lot of people here already follow you, because like the majority of my my chatters come from your stream. But if you aren't already following BaldBeardedBuilder, you definitely need to. Your puns, your music on stream, it's just like it always gets me rolling.
I love that no one ever mentions, I learned so much, or your quality coding skills.
No,
it's always your dad jokes, your stupid songs.
The thing is, I learn a ton. It's just that I have them in a notebook over here. I put it in a notebook, and
we've learned what you do with your notebook. That's like where your ideas go to die.
Yes, I have quite a bit of things written there, so I definitely. Oh, it looks like we hit the end of it too as well. Which these are all great recommended videos. You can see what I've been watching. But what was I gonna say? Oh no, I have a whole list of things I want to do with my stream that I learned from your stream and from other streams that I've mentioned. So yeah, to redeem myself, one day when I do get the time to improve my the quality of my stream, I will copy everything. The wig's actually coming in Amazon.
Awesome.
So it was a good chat, and I appreciate you coming on and taking out your Friday to chat with me. Technically you're on the clock, so you got one customer signed up.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I've reached my goals.
Exactly. I'm glad you're going to get that bonus.
Yes.
This is the bald-bearded builder himself, Michael Jolley. We're coming in hot with bdougie tonight.